So really humbling to go after Mr. Sudhanshu Mani. I think, thank you, sir, for giving us all and the nation Vande Bharat. Really a proud moment for all of us. Great learnings that I could borrow from your manufacturing journey as well. But today we'll speak on scaling and powering smart factories in the age of AI. If I can move to the next slide. So I'll caveat it before I start this particular speech, right? It's basically, ET has told me that I get 15 minutes, which is very brutal to give for a consultant because we cannot stop when we start, right? So I'll try my best. Just don't mind if I go a little overboard with that. But really getting started, I think, in space of manufacturing, some of the key trends that I wanted to start with, right? Essentially, what you see here is navigating the talent obstacles that we have faced since the pandemic, and it sort of continues forward as well. The smart factory journey and the move towards industrial metaverse, which is what we'll cover a little bit in this topic. Digitizing supply chain, and a lot of the organizations are moving in that space now. And then lastly, covering the decarbonization and sustainability aspects of it, right? So that's something we will cover. And essentially, Gen AI sort of takes center stage. It's there everywhere. And any conference that we attend, if we don't speak about Gen AI, I think we will sound very not so knowledgeable. So I will make sure that I cover Gen AI also in this one. So when we look at the first trend, which is on navigating, the talent obstacles that we are facing, and all of you, as part of your organizations, you would have made sure that you provide flexibility in the workforce and you're able to reward and recognize talent to make sure that you retain them. And it is no different for a manufacturer as well. A lot of the manufacturers that I have worked with personally sort of struggle to retain, especially the maintenance staff, and I think all of you will relate to that. That's the space which has the highest churn. That's the function which has the highest churn. Additionally, what you see now are some of these new trends which are emerging in terms of enabling the workforce with digital tools, and the same applies for manufacturing as well. And when I say manufacturing digital tools for the workforce, you would have seen a lot around connected workforce applications. And on top of it, when you add Gen AI capabilities and the advancements we are making in large language models, it only becomes very evident that how do we leverage and make this workplace, make the manufacturing shop floor much more easier for the new workforce to come in with the aging population sort of moving out and new people sort of coming in. How do we look at that? Making manufacturing very attractive. Sir showed us, the team of women that were empowering Vande Bharat, and I am quite glad that this room has a little bit of diversity. Otherwise, in most of the events that I've been, I'm the only one, speaking from that standpoint. And last is building and upskilling talent in terms of some of these new technologies which are coming in. How do I make sure that my people are able to adapt with the new technologies that are going to come in the way of smart factory technologies, IoT, AI, all the other technologies that we are speaking about? How do I make sure that I upskill and reskill my people and the workforce? So the idea behind these, 4 or 5 trends that I wanted to put out, I really wanted to show you as well, while I cannot show in the 15-20 minutes that have been given. But my idea was to show you something which is, very relatable to you. What I show you the first is our Deloitte's product called Gen CI, which is basically generative AI and with continuous improvement being put in place, right? So imagine an instance which is for your process improvements, that this is a tool that is given to your workforce, where they are able to query and get an answer, very, very precise and very accurate answers, whether it is maintenance related, whether it is your quality related, or anything which is to do with your process improvement. And one of the areas that you see here is around root cause analysis. And all of you, I can see that you would have spent hours and days in doing root cause analysis when something goes wrong. So this particular tool provides you, very, very pointed insights, and at the speed, almost at the click of a button, right? That's the idea behind this. And this, while I show you around process improvements, this can be applied to maintenance, quality, and many other aspects of it. Moving further, When it comes to smart factory, I'm told by an ASCOM report that almost 50% of the technology spend of manufacturers nowadays is going into Industry 4.0 technologies. While I say with that speed, I will also add another statement that is a very minuscule percentage when you compare to the landscape of manufacturers that we have in the country. And with our experience of having worked with several manufacturers in India and globally, these are some of the benefits that accrue right away when you start on your manufacturing journey, smart manufacturing journey. So improvement in asset efficiency, reducing your product quality errors, reducing cost, and improving your safety and sustainability. But at the same time, there are two trends which are really emerging, which is one around industrial metaverse, which I'll speak in a little bit. And the second is with the move towards so much of digital transformation and digitization, cyber security has almost taken a center stage, right? It's become, in second year in a row, there have been the most number of cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, which have happened in 2 years time frame. So with that, this is the second piece which I thought I'll show it to you, which is on the industrial metaverse, which is essentially really doing a rethinking around how you want to do manufacturing, right? And when you see here, BMW and Mercedes-Benz are the first one or the front runners in this space, where they are taking a complete digital first approach to manufacturing, whether it is starting from your design to your manufacturing to your logistics, end-to-end, completely covering the digital frame of it. And it is not too far away. If you think that these are German manufacturers, they have all the money and the space and the time in the world, very close to our own ground. We are working with a large aerospace manufacturer, which is taking a similar industrial metaverse approach and digital first approach when it comes to setting up greenfield factories, which, where we are starting now, and really looking at it, that can we make it smart from the start itself. The third piece is around the supply chain digitization, and you would see that a number of, over the periods, the lead times for procuring goods, while it has, substantially improved, it is still not at a pre-pandemic level. There is still long lead times that we are looking at. And a couple of areas which are emerging in this supply chain visibility or supply chain resilience space. One is obviously around sensing, which is supplier sensing, making sure, am I able to identify triggers where my supply might go wrong, be able to identify much ahead of time. And the second piece is around advanced supply chain planning solutions, which are more of table stake now. There are several such solutions which have come into the market, whether it is Blue Yonder, O9, Kinaxis, all of those, which are really becoming table stake and very, very critical for manufacturers to sort of, adopt these technologies to deal with the complexity of the planning itself. With that, I present to you, this is Deloitte Supply Horizon, which is essentially looking at sensing supplier risk, not just at your tier 1, tier 2 level, but really going to the nth level of supplier risk, identifying in which geography there could be triggers which are coming in, being able to take network visibility, identifying the risk scores, generating alerts much ahead of time to be able to support any mitigation that you want to take. And then essentially making a case management around it. So very comprehensive solution, which helps you really look at risk sensing and being able to adapt to that much ahead of time. Lastly, I will speak about these initiatives which are ongoing around decarbonization and the product electrification, right? Whether you're looking at EV vehicles or any of the EV related aspects of it. In terms of creating, what we looked at was to really give you a platform where we meet you where you are in the decarbonization journey, right? So there various companies are at various stages in the decarbonization journey, but really looking at from the beginning that can I set my emission baselines, can I look at setting my net zero goals, evaluate our initiatives, develop the roadmap, and then sort of do the reporting backwards. And all of this supported at the back end with I4.0 technologies, whether it is in terms of putting sensors, IoT sensors in place, and any of the other manufacturing related data that we want to pull in. How do I bring all of that together and be able to start and sort of take actionable actions around my decarbonization journey. So finally, I'll just close with these 5 key takeaways for all of you. starting with employee attractiveness and effective, engaging the talent very effectively, making sure, you are able to bring the women into the workforce, especially around manufacturing, by looking at digital solutions and making it a more, space that people want to work in that. Then looking at your smart factory approach that you want to take in terms of how do I leverage digital to improve my asset efficiencies and some of these aspects through digital technologies. The third is around your supply chain visibility and resilience. How do I bring that into the picture and improve my overall performance? The fourth is really looking at Gen AI, and when I say, over the last 1 year or so, we've been seeing so many Gen AI use cases, and Deloitte runs this Gen AI incubator, which essentially is one of its kind in the entire world. Basically, anything on Gen AI which gets developed in Deloitte gets developed out of India. So you can imagine the talent that is sitting here. So really looking at entire landscape to know what Gen AI use cases are coming in, and being able to apply that to your own scenarios is becoming very critical. And lastly, how do I quickly transition and start taking action around my net zero emission? Those are the 5 takeaways I thought I'll put forward. In case anyone has questions, we are open for that. But yeah, the timer also shows that time's up, but hopefully I made it in time. Yeah. Thank you so much.